All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this information session for the Masters of Social Science in Global Political Economy. We're very sorry for a bit of a delay, but it had to do with some technical issues as we're doing everything online right now. For some of you, it will be good morning. Some of you, it will be good afternoon. For us, it's good evening here in Hong Kong. Before I start, I will just quickly go through some of the house rules to make it a bit more easy for all of us. To allow clear and uninterrupted delivery of the talk, the host, that is us in general, we will mute all the participants. That is easy so we don't hear any background noises. During the talk, you guys can submit your question, but please do that in the Q&A box. So rather not in the chat room, but in the Q&A box. That would be very helpful. And later on, when my colleague will answer your questions, that will be at the end of this session, and then hopefully we can get to all of your questions. This talk will be recorded, so please keep that in mind. And an edited video will be uploaded to our MGPE YouTube channel. All right. So before we start, I'll give a quick introduction of myself. I'm your MC for tonight. I'm Professor Karim Bettache. I am originally from the Netherlands. I got my bachelor and my master's there at the University of Groningen in social psychology. And I got my PhD actually here at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, also in social psychology. So you can already see, hey, that's a psychologist. Yes, global political economy is a very diverse, very multidisciplinary department. We have geographers, political scientists, sociologists, and also psychologists. In this department, I teach theories of international relations. I just came to Hong Kong, back to Hong Kong, to be part of this department. So things are also a little bit new for me. So my colleagues will go more in depth to talk about what you guys can expect in this program. Okay, so what are we going to do tonight? First of all, you will have some opening remarks by the faculty dean, Professor Chiu. Then at 7:20, you will get an introduction to this program by my colleague, Professor Kelvin Chung. After that, you will have what we call a taste lecture to get a bit of a taste what kind of questions we deal with at MGPE, and it is entitled US-China Trade War, Does Biden Represent Hope for Change? That talk will be done by my colleague, Professor Peter Beatty. And finally, hopefully we can get to all of your questions in the Q&A session with Professor Kelvin Chung. Okay, so I'm going to introduce to you now Professor Chi-yue, who has his master, MPhil, and PhD from Columbia University, and his Bachelor of Social Science and MPhil from the University of Hong Kong. He's the interim program director of MGPE, Dean of Social Science, and Professor of Psychology. So without further ado, I present Professor Chiu.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to meet all of you here this evening, or this afternoon, or this morning, depending on where you are. So, first of all, as you can see from the program tonight, we have a taste lecture to give you a sense of what global political economy as a program would cover. But very briefly, what we want to be able to convince you tonight is that although we all live in our local environment, in order to act effectively in our local environment, more and more because of globalization, we need to develop a global vision and have a global mindset. Global political economy is not a discipline. It is a discipline of disciplines. Namely, we are trying to gather insights from multiple disciplines so that you can actually analyze our current environment and current situation from very different perspectives and come up with a very holistic understanding of what are the issues we are facing in this world. So just now, my colleague Karim told you that, he is a psychologist. He's a social psychologist. He's also a cultural psychologist, as far as I understand it. He's also a political psychologist. And then we have colleagues who have been trained as an international relations scholar, who has been trained as a lawyer. We have colleagues who you will meet very soon, who is a geographer. And then we have colleagues who are economists, colleagues who are sociologists, and colleagues from other disciplines as well. So what is really unique about our program is that in this program, you can actually have ownership of the program by designing your own concentration. So to say, for example, in this program, towards the end of the program, you can design for yourself, okay, depending on the courses that you have taken, and also taking advantage of the advice from your mentor, design a concentration that fits your interests as well as your career aspirations. So once again, I want to welcome all of you to this session. In a minute, you will know more about this program. You will meet my colleagues, Professor Chung, who is going to tell you more about the structure and also what you will learn from this program. And then in order for you to really experience what it is like to be in a class, we are going to offer you into this program. My colleague, Professor Peter Beatty, is going to give you a taste lecture. If you like these lectures, then you will like this program. In fact, we have a lot more to offer in this program, but given the limit of time, we can only give you a taste of what it is like to be a student in a program. So once again, welcome to this program, and I hope to see more of you in September in this campus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Chiu. So let's go straight into it. I introduce to you right now my colleague, Professor Calvin Chung. He got his PhD at the University College of London, MPhil at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and his bachelor at the Chinese University of Hong Kong as well. He's an assistant professor also in our department. He teaches theories of global political economy, global environmental politics, independent research, and guided field studies in selected areas. All right, I introduce you, Professor Calvin Chung.
Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon or good morning to you if you're in other parts of the world in a different time zone. This is the very first time that we're giving these information sessions online, so as to allow us to reach out to more people around. So I hope that will be a helpful move to all of you here. So in the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what you can expect from our program if you are joining us as one of our students. So to begin with, let me just give you a brief introduction on why we will have this program in place in CHK. We started this program back in 2009, right after the global financial crisis. And many of our founding members at that time feel that there is a need for more people to know about the increasing interconnectedness of politics as well as economics across different parts of the world. My colleague, Professor Peter Beatty, will be going to give you more examples of that, but perhaps I can just highlight some very common cases here. On the one hand, politics shapes economics. It is through a lot of very complicated political negotiations at different levels that we manage to set up the current economic system that we are, engaging with today. On the other hand, economics also shape politics. Many governments around the world are thrown out of power because they're not doing a good job in running their economies. But you will be able to hear more from Peter very soon. Another stress in our program is the need for us to look at the world as a whole. We need to examine things at the global scales. In particular, we're seeing a lot of global shock waves these days. Things that happened initially in one particular spot in the world, but later on, developed in a way that have impacts across the world, creating surprises to different corners of our planet. And how these local issues have manifested into global ones, well, they are related to actually a globalized circulation of power, capital, resource, as well as people straddling across borders. And I think one very good example that we are actually all experiencing these days is the COVID pandemic, in which movement of peoples has been disrupted, so as movement of resources, as we can felt when you go into the supermarket and see that there are empty places, empty corners in the supermarket because those goods cannot move, cannot be imported into your city, your country due to supply chain disruption in some other parts of the world that you perhaps would not be familiar with at all. And what we're emphasizing, therefore, is that even if you're just interested in the development of a particular city or particular country, it is important that we'll think about these local or national developments in the context of an ever-changing world. And we emphasize here in MGPE the importance of thinking relationally across different spaces, times, as well as domains. So global political economy, as I've just introduced, is an interdisciplinary subject that builds upon an expanding range of knowledge. Political science and economics are perhaps those disciplines that we'll first think of when you hear the term GPE, but there are also other disciplines that are very important, like international relations, sociology, geography, psychology, law, and cultural studies, among many others. And here, MGPE is an advanced program to help you to make sense of the reciprocal as well as dynamic interaction between the political and the economic domain of our world, and also between the global as well as the local. So with that background in mind, our objective here in MGPE is to help you meet the growing needs for knowledge in understanding changes in global political economy as a complex system. And that knowledge has to be interdisciplinary as well as integrative. And we will equip you with those knowledge necessary to comprehend the global political economic system so that you can analyze political and economic issues in a holistic manner, so that you can also enhance your career competitiveness, especially if you're working in fields that requires you to have a good sense about how the world works. And of course, for some of you who are trying to pursue further professional development or even academic pursuits like doing a PhD, this is also something that you should think about. So now let me introduce a bit more about how our curriculum is designed. Okay, so this very program, MGPE, offers two pathways. You can do it in a full-time mode for 1 year, or if you're a part-time student, you'll be studying for 2 years. You'll be doing a total of 24 units of coursework, and they would come in the form of 8 courses, each carrying 3 credits, 3 units, and they will be conducted over 13 weeks in one of the 2 terms of the academic year. So this is an overview of the exact combination of courses that you're going to take if you will be one of the students here in MGPE, and you will see more details if you visit our website. But for now, I would just highlight several features here. There are 3 required courses you can see at the top of the slide. And then we will also have a range of elective courses that you're going to take. And you will be taking a combination of 8 courses out of these 2 categories. So 3 required courses are meant to provide you with a broad understanding of what GPE is. It's basic theories, the range of areas that this field is interested in and will cover in these courses. So we have 5801 and 5802, the 2 courses on theories of global political economy, as well as theories of international relations. And we are giving an emphasis on international relations here because of our focus on the world as a globalized system these days. And international relations, in fact, historically has been one of the most important, intellectual pillars to support the development of GPE as a discipline. And then we also have 5803 here, which is methodology in social sciences. We have been admitting students which were not trained in social science at first. And then some of you may be wondering like whether you will face a lot of difficulties if you do not have that social science background in order to undertake this master's degree. So you do not really need to worry about that because we're going to help you out with this methodology course. So you will be able to appreciate how social science research is conducted, as well as how you can actually become a social science researcher on your own, whether to do it in an academic context or in a practical context. And together with those two theory courses, they will give you a very good basic foundational understanding about what GPE really is. And then once you have that foundation set up, then you're free to choose to study at most 5 courses from a wide-ranging choices of topical courses as well as regional courses. So in order to ensure that you have a balanced learning of knowledge, we would require you to take at least 2 of your elective courses from this range of topical courses you can now see on the screen. So topical courses are meant for you to delve into particular topics, particular domains that you're interested in. So you can have a quick look on the titles of the courses available here. They cover things from macroeconomics to trade policy, investment policy, currency policy, as well as other emerging issues like energy markets, political psychology, and also environmental politics. So we are not just only looking at politics per se or economics per se. We're interested in their interaction, and more importantly, how the interaction of these 2 components have an impact on many other domains as well, and will require understanding beyond just politics or just economics in order to help us comprehend and appreciate what's happening around the world. And then we will also ask you to take at least 2 of your elective courses from the regional courses category. So again, here, if the last set of courses on topical courses focus on giving you, depth in particular domains of studies, here we'll give you depth in terms of looking at particular regions, development particular parts of the world. So some of you may be interested in knowing more about China. We have courses for you on that. We also have courses that covers other major, powerful regions like the United States as well as European Union. And for some other regions that might not be so obvious in the list of courses that you can see here, the titles here, they will also be covered in relation to one of those 3 major countries or regions that we are looking at: China, US, and EU. And so these courses will allow you to have a better understanding about, other parts of the world that perhaps you're not so familiar with these days. And we also have optional courses. So you can choose to take all 5 of your courses, elective courses, from those 2 categories of courses that I've just shown to you. But it's also possible that you might want to understand something that our existing curriculum may not be able to cover with our standard package of courses. So we give you the opportunity to undertake your own independent thesis or dissertation research. Or you can actually go to the world, okay? Going into one of the sites around the world to conduct your own in-depth study with guidance from one of our faculty members here. In fact, I have been taking charge of this course over the past few years. That would be independent research and guided field study in selected area. And most recently, we're also introducing the component of internship. So we'll be able to have a chance to do an internship in the credit-bearing way in one of the research institutes and think tanks which we have connection with. And we are still working very hard in order to expand the range of possibilities available through this internship program. So having introduced to you what our program looks like, here are some more details about how you will be able to complete the program and graduate from it. So as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 required courses with a total of 9 units for you to complete. there's another 5 elective courses with a total of 15 units for you to complete as well. So a total of 24 units. For all these courses, we require you to achieve a grade of C- or above, okay, in order to pass that course. And you will also be required to obtain a CGPA, a cumulative grade point average of 2.0 or above. So that's the part on how a program looks like, how a curriculum looks like. So for some of you, you might be interested to know that when you're applying to this program, you are also automatically applying for our entrance scholarships. So we provide entrance scholarships to some of our most outstanding applicants each year. And you don't need to fill out a separate applications. All applicants are automatically considered for this entrance scholarships. And you will be assessed according to your academic achievements, your work experience, as well as the recommendations we receive from your referees. And the result of both the admission and the entrance scholarship will be announced at the same time. And for those of you who successfully completed our program with flying colors, we are also going to recognize you with our academic distinction awards. So these awards comprise of a certificate as well as for each person, each student, 5,000 Hong Kong dollars cash award. So this is the award for those who achieve a minimum CGPA of 3.6 upon graduations. And normally we have 4 awards to students with the highest GPA each year. For some of you, you will be concerned about the tuition fee that you have to pay. For you, if you're applying to our program and become one of our students here in the coming academic year, 2021 to 2022, you will be paying a tuition fee of $160,000 Hong Kong dollars in order to complete 24 units of studies. You'll be required to pay 80,000 Hong Kong dollars for your deposit in the program, and that's for full-time students. For part-time students, that will be 40,000 Hong Kong dollars. The tuition fee will be charged based on the number of units taken in each term, and you will receive notice from the university in October and January. That will be around the beginning of each academic term. And you'll be charged additional tuition fee for extra courses that you're taking beyond the 24 units that you have to take in order to complete your study here. And that would be an additional 20,000 Hong Kong dollars per course. I believe many of you know very well about our programs by looking at materials available online. But I might just stress once again, if you are still not very sure about whether you want to join our program or not, these are the reasons why you should apply and become one of us here in this program. So we welcome university degree holders from all disciplines who intend to enhance your competitiveness in respective careers. So it's not just social science undergraduates that we're welcoming. We welcome everyone, so long as you're interested in knowing more about GPE. And as you can tell from the range of courses that we have introduced to you a bit earlier, we really want to prepare everyone, regardless of your disciplinary background, to become someone who is interested and knowledgeable about our global political economic system. Any individuals who want to pursue professional development in the field of finance, management, consultancy, policy research, NGO development, among many other possibilities, should consider taking up our course. And of course, as I emphasized a little bit earlier, individuals who wish to be prepared for the intellectual challenge of doctoral studies, particularly in social science and business disciplines, this will also be a very good stepping stone for you. So if you are now considering, or if you are actually working on the application now, please pay attention to the following details. So first of all, you have to make sure that you meet these admission criteria set out by our university. You will have to graduate from a recognized university and obtain a bachelor's degree, normally with honors not lower than second class. And applicants who took a degree program that was not taught mainly in English will have to fulfill our university's English language proficiency requirements. And we have a link here for you, which is the link to our graduate school if you want to know more details about it. The application can be done online through CHK graduate school website. There is a list of supporting documents that you will have to supply these days. Previously, we required you to submit official transcript in hard copy, but because of the pandemic, this year, the university is making a special arrangement of allowing you to submit it in the form of, copies rather than its original form. But if you want to know more details about what exactly you will have to submit, do have a look at the graduate school's website, which will provide you with the most up-to-date requirements. And some of you may just wonder how MGP courses will be delivered when you are studying here in CHK. Well, for the time being, because of the pandemic, we are delivering the courses online in most cases. But when the pandemic stabilizes, which we hope will take place very soon, face-to-face classes will be offered, okay? And of course, this really depends on how the circumstances evolve here in Hong Kong, and the university will be keeping a close eye on what's happening here in the city in order to decide which teaching mode will be most suitable in order to strike a balance between having an interactive learning context and keeping all of us safe and healthy. And if we are able to see you all on the campus for this program, all courses will be taught here in the CHK main campus. In fact, we are actually on the campus now in one of the teaching buildings. And courses will be offered in each term on weekdays, night time from 6:45 to 9:30 p.m. Hong Kong time. And we will also have some classes scheduled on Saturday morning as well as Saturday afternoon. Other than the formal curriculum, we also offer a range of learning activities to enrich your life, your learning here in MGPE. Over the past decade, we have been offering field studies, which allow you to take it actually on a credit-bearing basis most recently. And we have been getting students here at MGPE to visit many parts of the world in Asia, as well as most recently, we're planning for trips in Europe as well. And we also have collaborations with other institutions for academic seminars that hopefully will broaden your horizon more as well. So if you are applying or if you're thinking to apply, please bear in mind that we have the application deadline set on the 28th of February this year, 2021. And we will be working on your applications. We'll be reviewing them on a rolling basis. But the very last time that we will be, giving you details about whether you have an offer here or not will be July 2021. So if you have any more questions, obviously you can ask us through the Q&A chat box later on in this information sessions. And you're also welcome to send us email through mgpinfo@chk.edu.hk. And of course, our website is mgp.ssc.chk.edu.hk. That's our homepage for the program. So thank you very much for your time.